What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 45 of the Overview. I'm ChanManV, and joined today, of course, by my two co-hosts, Fishstix and Jason Kaplan, casters, players, all that good stuff for those that don't know. And people are like, you should introduce your co-hosts sometimes, because I don't know who they are. So I'm like, okay, so I will. So Fishstix, how do we introduce you at this point? You're a Caster, you're a... Well, Jason, help me out. Help me out.
I'm a no-lifer. I work at Twitch. I'm obsessed with esports. It's what I do all day, every day. And yeah, I love Overwatch a lot. I used to be a caster. I casted a few events.
You're going to be casting something soon, right?
Maybe. I don't know. There's no guarantees, man.
Okay.
I'm a caster looking for work. So there you go.
All right. And of course, we got Jason Kaplan, who is an ESL caster, as well as an
actual caster.
An aspiring
employed
Overwatch pro. Employed.
I'm what they like to call in the business a professional caster.
A professional
like
caster. Wow. All right. Cool. And then, of course, we've got Flame, who is our, I don't know, at this point, you're almost like a regular. So we'll call you a guest host at this point, who's, I don't know, I guess our analyst on the panel here.
Watcher, ranked rager.
Professional rager.
Analyst in training, I guess. Not really in training.
Okay, all right.
Looking for work. I'm on the Fishstix looking for work.
Also,
this is the reject show.
The reject show?
Where a lot of them, where all of us have real jobs, but not the ones we're aiming for, I guess.
Yeah.
Except for Jason.
So you've been doing your DIY stuff recently, Flame. Like, are you done with all that stuff now? Is your house like completely different?
Yeah, my Christmas tree is gone.
Yes, your Christmas tree is gone.
Hell.
Yeah.
It's only been, it only took me till a week before Valentine's Day. But yeah, my floors are done. Life's good on the home remodeling.
Would you ever do it again? Because I did it myself, and I'll never do it again. If I got a new
house, I think I'd do it again. Like, if I was gonna buy a house again, I would do it all before I move in. Doing it after you move in is really rough. You have to like move like furniture, and like stuff is in boxes. The dog can't walk on it. It was a hassle. Stress is gone.
Stress is
You know what though? Like, I find some odd sense of joy, like moving places and like having to buy adult stuff. Like, I bought a mirror finally for my bathroom, and I don't think I've ever been as happy buying something like that in my life.
Like, I agree, because I
It's
switched
amazing.
out my shower head like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's the best.
Oh my god, dude. It's like...
Yes.
And like, this is going to sound really nerdy, but like, the floor was done on Monday. I think I've mopped it like twice already. It feels so good when it's like clean and shiny and shit.
It's like cleaning your car or something, right?
Yeah.
Having
It's
wax
this
and
is my
shit.
new investment, this floor.
Yeah.
Mop it.
No, I know what you
Definitely start to realize that you're aging a bit when the highlight of your weekend is like installing some new furniture and cleaning up, and be like, yes, it's so organized. Yes.
That's true. All right. Well, anyways, back to Overwatch. We've obviously got our topics that we have every week here. Going to start a little bit about our week in Overwatch, see what you guys have been up to. Season's kind of winding down, so yeah, just kind of see what you guys have been doing. Got maybe a couple bits of news in terms of just general Overwatch news. Then we'll kind of have a topic of the week segment where we'll open it up just to whatever people want to talk about this week, or just any of the four of us, and any kind of open things that we want to bring up here. And then we got some esports news, of course, some new teams forming, some new teams dropping or kind of splitting from a sponsor, and then we got some balance talk too, as well as some events going on with Apex, of course, some full swing. Assembly, Jason, you got the update at least with Assembly Winter for us, and then Strivewire's going on with Gosu, and just some tournaments starting up. Even we were talking about last week where there's just nothing going on, so it's good to see that there's at least some smaller events going on. And then Q&A, we'll probably take questions from Twitter and Twitch chat today, since we didn't have any email ones. So go ahead and tweet those to myself at ChanManV or at the Overview GG, or just hang out in Twitch chat and we'll take some there. Okay, so our week in Overwatch, what you guys been up to? You guys been laddering? You guys been playing arcade or giving up on capture the flag at this point? Because that's what it sounded like last week, at least. What have you guys been doing?
Oh, I've been on a slow decline lately. It's been feeling real rough. So I've been playing much more on my alternate account, trying to get that to have parity with my main account. But I cannot seem to win on my main right now. It's been really rough. I hit a peak of 4.2k MMR or SR, and then have just been slowly sliding since then. It kind of sucks, but we'll figure it out. And you mentioned, Chris, the season is winding down, but is it really? Do we actually have a date? Because last I heard, there's still no date, right? We don't even know.
It's a 3-month cycle, supposedly.
Yeah, it's like a 2.5 though. Is the thing.
But when is the date?
It should be this month.
It should be next week.
Yeah, it should be really soon, 1 or 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe at the end of the event, because the event ends next week.
That would make sense.
That'd be the best Valentine's Day gift, I think.
What
season?
The event
just
ending?
The season just ranked, like just having like 2 weeks of no ranked.
Okay, just a break from it.
Just a break from it.
Just a break from it.
Out there are just happy. Yes, the season ended before Valentine's Day. That means he has no excuse to do something with me.
Well, it has to end on Valentine's, or at least before Valentine's Day, right? So that you can actually do something on Valentine's Day.
What if they like surprise close the season? Would that be dick?
No, that would not be cool. That would definitely not be cool.
I doubt they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be a good social
I would
experiment.
not be very happy.
Yeah. Okay, so Fishstix, you've been laddering. Jason, how about you, man?
I got to enjoy watching Fishstix play on his alt account. Your Reinhardt, by the way.
Solid, right?
Solid.
Not as good.
Wow.
Not as good as the Winston, but
I thought I was looking at Reinforced 2.0 there. Great. No, so for me, just been playing a couple games here or there. Got a little bit lucky streaming. Ended up playing some games with Calvin when he was on EU.
Nice.
Got to leech some viewers from him. Then I did a QT today. Got to leech some viewers from him. But I'm like net 40 points so far. So like 4260, almost close to top 500 again. That's about it. Just had to cast some. Well, didn't have to. I got to cast some Overwatch over the weekend with the Assembly winner.
Yeah, nice. Awesome. Flame, how about you?
I mean, I tried to do sub VODs last night, which is like one of those things where my subscribers send in VODs and I try to review them.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to the point where they tilt me harder than ranked.
What?
So I stopped doing. No, dude, you don't understand.
You mean the VODs tilt you harder than ranked?
Yeah, it's like POVs of like anywhere from Grandmaster to like Platinum.
Dude, where's your patience, dude? You're supposed to be patient with these.
I'm probably like 150 in by now in terms of how many I've done.
Oh my god, that's a lot.
Like since I started, which was like 6 months ago. So when you consider that, you can only watch Platinums play Reinhardt so many times, So I played ranked, and then that did not go well because I peaked. I was at like 43, 44. I was like 43.70 or something. Mm-hmm. So what goes up must come down. That's like the law of Overwatch gravity.
Right.
So I think I tilted down to the point where I started playing Symmetra with my controller on Eichenwald last night, but it was a rough afternoon.
That sounds
cool.
Watching.
Yeah,
it was interesting for a little bit, but like I went to switch back to mouse and keyboard and got like immediately headshot, and then suddenly the teleporter was down. Like it was a rough exchange of. It was everything. It's like everything that could have gone wrong yesterday went wrong.
I think you should start a series where you watch like a subscriber's VOD and you don't look at their rank and you're supposed to guess like what rank there are.
That might be a good idea.
That's kind of funny, actually.
But like the problem is that if I started saying like Diamond and then it wound up being Grandmaster, it would just like.
That's half the fun, right? Is like you have to punish yourself. Like if you can't get it right, you have to like go do something really bad or eat something really disgusting.
Yeah, but how do you know, man? Like there's so many people that are just surprise Grandmasters this season. Like, surprise! Here's your Grandmaster.
Oh okay, they're just giving them out. Is that what you're saying?
What?
You get to see what they played in the season. So they have a ton of hours on Diva. Probably last season that means they were like silver.
Yeah.
But probably our Grandmaster.
All right.
So I have a question.
I started thinking. Well, someone had the idea of shortening it. Like they can submit me a clip. And like it'll be like, what should I have done in this particular?
Yeah, that would be much better. That would definitely.
That'd be much better, but that would involve them doing work, so it's never gonna happen.
Well, so I have a question for you guys because I've been really lazy about just with the game is just actually customizing my reticle per hero. I've just basically always gone with the smaller crosshair and just used it for everything. But I recently just started to do it and was trying to figure out what works the best. And I wanted to see what you guys think. Like, is there any kind of categorizing of reticle? Well, first off, do you guys use different ones per character? And then second off, do you kind of categorize like the hit scanning ones use this one versus, maybe the tracking players or the tanks or whatnot? Like, what do you guys do for the reticle right now?
Well, first of all,
yeah, that's number one.
If you're going to choose any reticle for any hero, color has to match the skin of the color of the hero you're playing. 100%. Like, it has to match.
Has to match the skin.
I don't know. I do for soldier. I have bloom on crosshair, like a short crosshair. So I'm gonna change to like a circle soon. Mm-hmm. For like Hanzo, I have bloom on. For like every other hero, I have bloom off. For Zarya, I use a dot. I don't know. Like Pharah, I use the circle with the dot in the middle.
Okay, you want like a real answer?
You want a real answer?
I mean, yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. So
no
if you're playing a hero, no, yeah, that's how I play. If you're playing a hero with spread, such as like 76 or Bastion, you want to do short crosshair with bloom on.
Yep.
So that way you know when your spread starts because it'll tell you. If you have a hero like Hanzo, I actually play with Hanzo default crosshair because it gives you like the Y indicator, like the depth kind of thing.
Yeah. That's really important.
So you can use that really well. And then like for heroes like Tracer, I guess Genji, it doesn't really matter, but like Zarya, Pharah, I just use circle because spread's not super important. And then it's just easier to see with like 2 layers of.
Right.
Do you mean circle or a dot?
Circle.
Yeah, that's what I've been starting to
go
towards.
I think dot is like the worst.
Really? I've been starting to use dot a lot more.
I've never been a dot fan, and I know a lot of people do like it, but for me, it's never been good.
I can't figure out the best color, though, for the dot, because I lose it after a while.
Well, the reason why I think dot's worse, just like objectively, is because the circle gives you range a little bit, so you can like adjust. Like if you're on the edge of the circle, it's just like an extra little thing for you to use.
It's a relative thing, right?
Yeah, to like adjust your aim.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good point.
You can get used to that, but I think dot's like the hardest shit to aim with. I would never use dot. I can't use dot.
It's the most precise, though, right? Just like
but there's a dot in the circle.
I think to Vic though, he has it as a dot and then has bloom on. Like for Soldier, I was watching him. He has a dot and then bloom on, and it blooms in a circle. For
that's nice too. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's okay, but then the dot gets like bigger than the head sometimes. I'm sure. Depending on what you're shooting at, I would imagine.
Oh, actually, I never thought about that. That's.
It's a pretty big dot. It's not actually a dot. It's like a little.
That's what I mean. It's like a circle.
It's like a little circle in there. I just use short crosshair with bloom. Bright pink. That's my
bright
preference.
Pink. Okay, I haven't tried bright pink.
Even with Genji, you use short crosshair.
Yeah. I've tried using a dot now for McCree. I like never play McCree. I'm just starting to play McCree, and it seems pretty nice. I don't know, but I just did that like last week. So
that's another reason actually why I like the circle is because you can like put it around heads.
Oh, okay, yeah. I need to try the circle a little bit more. I haven't really tried a lot of that with many of the characters or heroes. So, anyways, I just wanted to bring that up just because it was something random I was doing recently, and trying to really customize that a bit more.
Have you done your 1v1 with your son yet? And what were the results?
No, we haven't done that yet. We haven't done that. Well, I mean, no. We did that. We did that like a few weeks ago. So first round of 1v1s, he beat me. But that was like, we were playing characters I never play. So like I was gonna start playing some of those a little bit more, and then we'd go like for real again. But so I mean, I would beat him with all the characters I play regularly, but then he'd beat me with all the other characters that I just barely ever play.
Let's just try cast that. And just like critique ChanManV the entire time.
Oh my god, that'd be terrible.
Flame, I don't know. That was really questionable play out of him. I don't know why he ran into that position.
And we're gonna see the symmetric turrets.
I don't even know the meta of 1v1 on that map yet.
He's planning on doing with these turrets, but he should just camp them.
He should just camp it. That'd be
beneficial for all parties too, because we actually get a casting gig.
That's it.
Dude, all right, you want to hear the saddest? You want to hear the saddest story?
Man.
Here's a sad story. The other day, this was like 2 weeks ago. IDDQD challenged Slasher to a 1v1 in Quake Live.
I remember that.
Shit.
And asked me to
really?
cast it.
Oh
He
crap!
asked me to
What
cast
happened?
it. I had more viewers in 10 minutes than I've had in
Wait, who won?
10 months.
Who won?
Who do you think?
I'm
It was
just kidding.
well, it was IDDQD, but honestly, Slasher beat him on Aerowalk, but IDDQD got map control on whatever the last map was. I remember.
Okay,
But
okay.
it was on EU
That's
server. Slasher
respectable
wants a
then.
rematch on NA. Maybe we'll get that.
That's
eventually.
respectable then. That's good.
I think Uber and I were watching that from the office, and we were just laughing our asses off.
Yeah, Slasher was supposed to be, Slasher was supposed to be casting AMM or whatever.
Oh, really?
Oh,
And then they were yelling at him to leave because he wasn't in the
He was doing
AMM
this
server.
during a casting gig.
There was a lot of
my
stupidity
God,
going on.
dude.
It was
It
great
was like
though.
right before it.
Okay, it was right before.
It was
All right,
hilarious.
that's
I don't know. If Flame could cast like that all the time, I would fucking love it.
That sounds like
It was so.
The
It
subtle
was,
shit talking you were
it
doing.
wasn't super toxic. It was just like, and for a 40-year-old, when you consider the 20% LG accuracy, it's actually pretty good. And we're gonna see the
could they hear you?
60% rail, which is actually higher than the Immortals Overwatch team's average age. You just keep
Oh
going
my
in
God.
with like
Yeah, that's good
zingers.
stuff. That's good stuff. Yeah, I gotta catch that live next time. That's really cool. All right. Well, anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about some news here. So we talked. Well, it was kind of like last minute. Just kind of came up last week where Ben brought up the Bastion changes, and we talked a little bit about it. But I just wanted to bring it up. Maybe just see if we have any different opinions on it after getting a chance to think about it for a week, or maybe talk to some other folks. What do you think about the changes now, or at least the ones that they're proposing, Ben?
Well, obviously, the heavy tank meta was super dominant in the last patch, and at that time, it was like anything that would help mitigate that and be a good counter to tanks seems like a pretty good idea. But now in this patch, it's not quite as dominant. There isn't quite as much of a need, in my opinion, to have a character that's specifically expressly anti-tank, like what they're kind of proposing for Bastion. And guys, if you're looking for the info on these potential changes, it came from Zan, who's the lead character designer here for Overwatch. He proposed some potential
Jeff
changes
Goodwin.
that Jeff Goodman. Zan Jeff Goodman, same thing. Potentially just make it so he's slightly more mobile, but less accurate, but more mobile and can do lots of damage to large targets like tanks. So I don't really know what I think about it yet. It's really hard to say, but I do think that there's it's kind of weird to create a character that's like specifically solving one specific purpose and then like purposefully crap at everything else. I don't know. It's a weird design philosophy, but we'll have to see how it plays out. We don't even know if this is going to make it into the next
It's a bold
patch or not.
strategy, Cotton.
Yeah.
It's a bold. Jason, before Flame gives his opinion, Jason, what do you think?
I mean, should we talk about the specific changes or just talk about our opinions of it?
I mean, we can go through it specifically one by one if you want to. Let me bring it up.
I don't know. Like, I've never. I know Flames like kind of agree with me on this. Like, I don't really like stationary heroes. You have to play around something in particular. Like, I mean, you have symmetry, yeah, with the turrets, but like, Bastion's major weakness was that he had no mobility, but he could do so much damage. So if you didn't deal with him, then you were in trouble. But now they're like making it so you can still do a ridiculous amount of damage. You can't headshot anymore, and you're a little bit more mobile, so you can switch in and out quicker. I mean, I'm all for trying changes, and hopefully this isn't a change that like gets put on PTR, then gets put right into the game without actually being tweaked. But I don't know. Like, I feel like not every hero needs to be 100% viable all the time.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that from a design standpoint, that's a trap that a lot of people fall into, or at least a lot of games fall into, and trying to make every character viable at every moment in the game. I think that's not a very good thing. Generally speaking, I think having certain subsets of characters viable at different points in the game seems to work the best.
Well, it's like Torbjorn, right? Like, he's viable on hybrid payload maps like Numbani. Like, really, really viable there, and really viable in Hollywood, but you don't really ever see him anywhere else in the entire map.
I think that there's a distinct lack of offensive Torbjorn that should have been explored more. I'm not even trolling. Like, if you get that shit on a cart on King's Row, it's actually devastating. Have you ever nano boosted a Torbjorn in Molten Core
Oh, dude,
yeah,
so good.
it's
you have to like deal with the gun, the level 3 gun that's now shooting at you, and then the Torbjorn that like one shots your Roadhog. It's actually insane. I'm just saying, like, people haven't explored that yet, but someone will, and we'll see it. But I guess on that topic though about the Bastion, it's like I don't like the arbitrary rules that they put around it too. Like the concept of like, oh, this hit scan is just not going to headshot. Like, where was that months ago? You know, I feel like that rule should apply to a lot of guns. Like, I don't even like the concept of headshots. I mean, that's just my opinion on like a lot of heroes like Tracer and like, I don't know, 76, maybe McCree even. Concept of like just hitting headshots seems semi RNG-ish. But like they were talking about buffing his damage resistance when he's in this turret mode. But then at that point he's like a tank. So like you're countering a tank by making a stationary tank. Like,
yeah,
they should just turn him into the StarCraft siege turret or whatever, siege tank.
Just turn
and then like his ult is a medevac that picks him up and puts him somewhere else.
Wait. So if you were to do that, then it wouldn't be like this rapid fire machine. It would be a chain gun. Like massive, it would be just a cannon, like, basically.
Yeah, it would just be a cannon.
Yeah, I don't know.
It would just chunk turrets out.
That would be kind of a bit crazy.
I mean, he'd still die, right? To sleep dart, hook.
Yeah, true. Classic. But I don't know. He's pretty powerful. His ultimate's already pretty powerful when he's in.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch him. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't touch him at all. Is more or less where I was going. But.
Yeah, so Jason, I brought up the points, like each of them. So which thing you think is the most curious as to, you know, what they're changing here?
I think the moving self-repair is kind of like the most boring thing ever. It's like if you're moving as Bastion and you need to heal, well, you're gonna die probably for being attacked anyways, and be sure you have someone healing you. Like, I feel like if anything, you make it into where you have a gauge of it, but you can heal while you're being hit. So that way, if you're being attacked like really heavily, you can sit there and spam heal like Roadhog and just take a breather and sit there and heal the entire time he's being hit. That would make him a little bit stronger to being focused down. You'd have more resistance that way, where you just kind of pop your I need to heal button, maybe gives you a little bit of damage resistance or something. But healing while you're moving I feel like it's just a useless change. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe I don't play Bastion.
I think so
too. Think it gives you anything different. I feel like it's just a change they added in that does nothing really.
It's very much a Band-Aid. For sure, it feels like a Band-Aid because this kind of moving heal thing is there's nothing very witty about it or, you know, very interesting.
I don't mind it.
Yeah,
just anything to make him more mobile. He's just so, and also recon mode. Like that's what a lot of the pros, and actually this was in Seagull's AMA. As well. What a lot of the pros have been saying, like if you just made his recon mode slightly better, he'd instantly become viable in so many more situations. So now recon mode, you're going to be able to run around and heal and shoot, and it's going to all aspects of that are going to be better. That seems fine to me.
Doesn't he have 300 HP? What's his base?
I've never played Bastion.
300? Yeah, I think it is 300. It sounds like 300's right.
Because they were talking about lowering his recon form spread, which turns him into like a 76 that's what I mean.
Is he just going to replace
down
76?
With like a 76 gun, and you can turn into a turret and mow down tank shields, and then turn into a rocket jumping. He has like the best rocket jump in the game, and then he like insta-gibs heroes when he's in ult. I don't know. It sounds like they're trying to turn him into like this jack of all trades Roadhog-esque character that like you can't really play against, and there's no direct counter to other than hooks.
And to correct myself, by the way, I didn't actually notice like in there it says you can't be or you don't interrupt your healing while being hit. Yeah. So that actually is a pretty good change. I didn't notice that part. So no, yeah, good change then, because that means you can run away while you're being hit and still be healing and like have more survivability. So yeah, good change then. I thought it was you just can move while healing, and if you're hit, it stopped healing. So
no, now you can nuke your Bastion and just run into the middle of the battlefield and
I don't know.
Collapse.
For me with Bastion, I felt like it's such a tough place for Bastion, especially for just Overwatch generally, because his character and, you know, he's kind of like the mascot of Overwatch too, you know, in a way. Like I think Tracer and Bastion are two of the most prolific characters, even when marketing Overwatch. And it's good to have those characters be viable, especially, you know, in esports and that and whatnot. But I actually was completely fine with Bastion just being more for just the new players, the more casual players, and just getting into the game. And it's like, okay, I can play this character that's very, very easy to understand, and it's very accessible, feels good, just the way the gun shoots, or just when you're actually in sentry mode. So I don't actually think they even need to bring it. I mean, it's cool whenever pros do figure out ways to, like Ilios, they used to, just C9 used to bring it up there. Or even we saw this past week with Mbani and some of the teams at Apex just trying to force it up there. I mean, it's cool seeing it just for just the initial push and that sort of thing in the pro scene. But I don't actually think it needs to be used in a big way.
I guess my biggest criticism, too, is that it doesn't really change his problem or his problems. Like, he already shreds shields.
Yeah.
His issue is that, like, he gets hooked or sleep darted and he's dead, or pulse bombed and he's dead. And the turret, whatever mode I guess it's turret mode, whatever it's called. Like, you're still gonna be vulnerable. You're still requiring your entire team to play around you, because you're still gonna get hooked and die, or pulse bombed and die, or sleep darted and then nuked and die. Like, that problem isn't gonna go away. Like, D.Va's still gonna hold right click in your face and you're still not gonna do anything. And I don't even know that any of these changes would buff that or like change that, of those facts.
It's hard to buff Bastion in a way they could be more effective against tanks and less effective against damage dealers. Because I mean, that's technically what they did. They wanted to make him stronger against tanks, but by taking away the headshot mechanic and making the spread bigger, you can't kill a McCree super easily or a Genji super easily anymore, because you have more chance of missing them. But even that niche, like, isn't that just a band-aid to the whole Ana thing? And
well, exactly. Well, like at that point, yeah. But like to add on to that, if he can't kill a McCree easily, like, how is he going to kill a Reinhardt easily? He's just breaking the shield. Like, that's what Roadhog's for. So I don't know what the number would be even that could make that gun do work without getting, like, if he's not going to kill the McCree, how is he possibly going to kill the Ana nuked Roadhog?
Yeah,
and like, can he really do more reliable damage to a Reinhardt shield than a Roadhog could? And like, what hero are you giving up to run this Bastion that gets, like, my PTR just started updating, so maybe it's live right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe it is.
maybe they're answering my problems in real time or my questions, but
I
don't
think
that it solves any of those problems.
Just generally, just with the design of Bastion, it's going to be pretty hard to make him, fit very nicely into the current meta. And generally speaking, I think the Overwatch team has been good about trying to bring back some certain characters or certain heroes into the meta when they've just been non-existent in the meta for a long time. And I think generally speaking, that is a good thing. Again, like, not having heroes viable all the time, but having different ones viable at different moments in the history of Overwatch. But with this one, I think it might be one that's not even worth trying.
If they buff Mercy, they would solve two problems, I think. I think you would run Bastion if you had Mercy still.
Oh, really? Just like the damage boost on it, or just the healing?
Yeah, like, if the thing with Bastion, too, is that, like, he's actually one of the better heroes to res, because he gets value if you can res him into his ult, which is, like, more than a lot of other heroes. But, like, conceptually, Mercy is just in such a bad spot that you don't even want to damage boost Bastion anymore. Like, you don't want to run Mercy just to run your Bastion. But I think Mercy's in such a dead spot compared to Ana that a lot of heroes just aren't being picked a lot right now just because of that. Like, being a Pharah and getting 3-shot out of the sky by an Ana is, like, the most depressing feeling.
Right.
So,
okay.
True.
Well, why don't we move on from Bastion and talk about throwing games on the ladder? So one of the big topics this week has been, or just maybe in the last few weeks, has just been how folks that are in the top 500, or maybe just folks that are very at the top of Grandmaster, have figured out a way to kind of game the current bonus system. And the way they do it is that they'll literally throw games so they can drop down in rank, and then they build up a huge win streak. So, by that time, like, you can start getting like 100, like maybe even 100, over 100 points at a time. After several wins, once you've, just, I guess, beaten folks in the diamond / master range, and then you can just zoom your way all the way up to the top 500. And it's a known tactic. I know a lot of folks have been doing it. I mean, I even know some streamers who have like IDDQD, like chose not to do at one point after realizing that it's not that cool for all the players down below. So he made a conscious decision not to do it. And I think other people are having to figure out whether to do it or not. So Jeff Kaplan addressed it recently in a post saying that they're doing something about trying to detect it and trying to figure out how people are going to be penalized for it. So right now, I guess the best thing that you can do is just report griefing and just using the tool that they have right now for reporting. But it's something that they're looking at and probably going to try to deter. But in general, guys, you guys seen this tactic happening a lot? Have you guys even done it?
I have such a hard time believing that this is like an actual issue. I mean, yeah, it's super shitty for people to throw games on purpose just to tank rank. But are people really doing this like on a wide scale? I don't buy it. I mean,
okay, so here's the thing on this. It's like you get to a certain SR, it's like up in like I mean this is probably completely valid for all SRs. I don't know what it's like down below like master though. But people just like stop caring about ranked. And like that's like a common theme I think right now is like people are realizing that people are six stacking. There's like bugs, there's a bug right now that exists still where like you can somehow dodge your game and not tank any SR. And like people abuse that. And then there's people who six stack at 5 a.m. only and play like 10 games in a row and get like 30 SR. And like that's their night. They get 30 SR from playing 10 games in a row. And they'll just do that every single week for 10 weeks and get to top 10. Like there's all these different ways to abuse the system and game the system. I don't know if the bug still exists, but there was a bug or like a thing where if you 3 stacked or 4 stacked and then everyone left the party, it gave you solo SR at the end. Wow. And like there's all these little broken ways that make ranked so not, I don't want to say valid, but inconsistent, that losing 10 games in a row doesn't feel bad. Like I literally lost like I think 9 games yesterday or something. And like towards the end you just stop caring because you're like, okay, I'll just gain this back tomorrow. And like that's kind of been like the feeling I think of a lot of players. So I mean, win streaking up is definitely a thing. I think if you can somehow tank your way to diamond or even decay to diamond, there's a good chance you'll climb past your initial SR because you'll win streak from those diamond games. But
so all of this tanking and getting bonus, this all stems from the whole bonus that they give for win streaks. And just not having each match just be like the same amount of points, each time, and your record will reflect pretty much your overall record should reflect where you are, like on the ladder. So that kind of begs the question: is it still good to have this bonus system or just win streak system? Jason, what do you think?
Well, okay. Well, yeah, I think you should have a win streak system because like you don't want to have to grind out, like say you decayed or you placed at some crap ELO. You don't want to have to win 20 points a game for like 100 games to get back to where you should be. Obviously, you want to be able to win like a certain amount and get back there quickly to kind of adjust your rating. But I actually don't know why necessarily we're talking about the bonus system in this. Like, obviously, it can be abused that way. But for me, it's more of like I literally just had a game today and we were full holding them on first point in a Bonnie, and one guy on the team's like, all right, I give up, and just plays Junkrat and killed himself the whole time. Like, that's how I see this should be more in effect. The people who are purposely throwing the game because they gave up.
I mean, that's just general. That's almost general ladder behavior, though.
Reference to, like,
no, we're talking people that purposely like go into games and just, okay, we're all just going to lose. We're purposely losing and tanking our SR so that we can get into a position where we're playing inferior opponents just to build up win streaks. And then, so by the time we build up, we're getting like 150 points each win. That's what I had
that happen with me when I won, or not like the decaying, or not the dropping part, but I won like 10 games in a row and I was getting 100 points a game. But I don't know. How do you detect that?
I know. That's the big thing. It's like, I don't even know how they're going to detect people throwing.
I think that this is like a good thing for them to have as a problem, because I think it's going to show them how hard it is for them to address it.
Yeah. And
maybe they'll make gameplay changes around that, or just changes to the system in general.
Okay.
Like conceptually, how do you tell the difference between the guy who's trying his hardest and the guy who's like purposefully picking Bastion? you know, like on random points that shouldn't be picking Bastion, or like just like picking. Like you can throw with a bad composition, arguably, and like if I wanted to lose 20 games in a row, I could just play a mediocre Mercy. So like, am I gonna be penalized for picking Mercy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you detect that?
I mean,
because I could easily lose games playing a good Mercy.
I mean, we could go through just ways. I don't feel like talking about ways to actually try to game that, but there are probably ways to detect, at least if you're playing your normal heroes, as to what your average stats are, and figuring out some algorithm there. But it is going to be very difficult to detect. So maybe just getting the message out there will deter people from doing it generally, because I don't think it's too crazy, like Ben, like you're saying, but it's definitely happening, and it's definitely, you know, hurting the experience for players that shouldn't be playing Grandmasters. You know, that's the biggest thing. That it's affecting other people, not just, you know, it's not just gaming the ladder and having them get to 100 top 500. It's like they're playing like me or something like that. That really sucks for me because I have no chance of beating this guy at all, and that's ruining the experience there. So it is.
You can say the same thing with Smurfs then. If I were to make a new account and be climbing my way up, like I'm still ruining games for you because I'm like stomping you, but you can't ban me for having a Smurf.
So, and I guess my point on that too is like, I think that fundamentally the game makes you want to lose sometimes, because you can't actually play with your friends until your SR hits a certain number. And like quick play isn't anything enjoyable to me. I mean, maybe I'm on the outskirts of some numbers, but like if you're a Grandmaster player and you're sitting at 4,400 and like your friend in real life is like, hey, let's queue some Overwatch together.
You're like supposed to play quick play. You're supposed to play quick play.
Yeah,
right?
You're supposed to play quick play, but.
So it's a tough problem, and it's a problem that's, you know, I think it's going to stay there or linger there until, you know, we see some changes with how just the overall system works. I'm not even sure how I would tackle it if I was having to do it.
You can't. You actually can't. I could res my Roadhog every single fight and just feed them an extra 600 damage worth of ult and lose the game that way, and just play a completely normal Roadhog that way. Or a normal Mercy, and just keep getting decent reses off, like 2-man reses that actually just actively loses the game. Maybe, and like, how would you possibly know that that was me throwing?
But maybe like causing folks to actually have to put even more time and effort even to fake it is, you know, possibly a deterrent also. Like, so only the folks that really, really want to do it, you know, will be able to. Right now, it's probably very easy just to literally just stand there and just move your mouse a little bit and just throw games.
I mean, that is detectable. That should be detectable.
Yes, that should be very detectable.
That is bullshit. But like playing Mercy or playing characters you're not good at or whatever, playing Junkrat, you know, that, I don't know. I honestly, this game is so teamwork dependent that I don't think any player can really carry consistently enough to actually make this like throwing things so you can get win streaks thing really like that big of an issue. What is an issue is people throwing, period. You like, if you're actually throwing purposefully, like that's shitty. That's the problem as far as I'm concerned. The win streak thing, you know, that's a separate conversation whether there should be win streaks or not, but I just don't think this is like as big an issue.
But all right, I just want to highlight, like, what do you do about the Reinhardt that switches to Widowmaker after like one failed push?
I mean,
and then is like, all right, someone else play Reinhardt. Like, that's literally throwing in my eyes.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
So like, that's what I mean. Like, it's so, you could easily lose 100 games in a row by insta-locking Reinhardt and then 1 minute in switch to Widowmaker every game. And like,
yeah, true.
That's actually like an easy way to tank a million SR. So I don't know how he plans to automate it, I guess, is my problem with his post or whatever.
We'll have to see what he comes up with. I'm sure they'll figure something out. Or maybe they just don't tell us much and they're doing something behind the scenes. But we'll have to see what the penalty is. There's going to have to be some kind of very visible penalty to doing this sort of thing.
Is it considered throwing if like I name myself Widow only and I only play Widow and won't change even though they have a Genji, a Diva, and a Winston? Like, is that considered throwing?
Exactly. But at like top 500 and like Grandmaster, it should be. So yeah, that's my issue with the whole system. Is like,
yeah, the concept of throwing is difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, let's.
We got game lobbies.
Yeah, we do have. Yeah, that's true.
MPTR.
Like, what
breaking news.
breaking news game lobby on PTR.
Oh, so are the patch notes
server
out?
Browser.
Shoot, are the patch notes out here? Let me see. We have game lobbies? Oh my gosh! Man, why do they always come out like during the show? Like we always, why can't they come out the day before the show? We could talk about it.
You'd think we'd learn at a certain point that the patches always come on Tuesday.
I know.
Clip size for turret config is now 300, and clip size for recon's 25. Wow.
Oh, that's
dude. The new lobbies are beautiful. See, this is me. I complain about Overwatch for like a week, and then they give me a nice little update. And I'm like, yes, everything is great.
Where's an image? Give me an image.
Yeah, link me that so maybe I can bring it up here.
Launch your PTRs. I can't really help you. There's a lot of different things here. ChanManV has to do it.
Oh man, I have that to update it right now. I can't do it right now.
For ranked,
yeah.
Why isn't there role queue? Like for instance, in League of Legends, you can queue as top, middle, bottom. Why can't I just queue as a tank? And then that way I play tanks only in the match. And then that way you have people who want to do Widow only can do fucking Widow only.
No, there should be low priority in this game like in Dota, and it should force you to win games in a low priority queue where you have to like win 5 games in a row, and you don't even get to pick your hero. It gives you 3 heroes to pick from, and those are your 3 heroes.
Well, okay, so
keep going.
I was talking to a friend of mine, John, about this. I don't know, maybe a week or 2 ago, and he actually suggested, or he actually thinks for the health of the game at all levels, that Overwatch should really think about implementing a 2-2-2 requirement, or just molding the game in that way. Obviously it takes a lot of the flexibility and the creativeness about having 4 tanks or 4 DPS or any compositions like that. But it would prevent us from getting into a meta like the 4 tank meta or the 3 or 4 tank meta we've been in, and which has been, I think, generally not great for people of all skill levels, and it would, kind of simplify things too. What do you guys think of that?
I don't like it. I don't like it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 DPS is tons of fun. 3 DPS 1 Winston is like my favorite way to play this game, especially on like King of the Hill. So I don't know.
Want to hear my crazy idea?
All right, last point before we move on. Last point.
You guys could say no.
Yes, Flame. I want to hear.
Yes.
I want to change the format of ranked. I want teams to go into like a pick your hero phase, and it doesn't lock you into your hero, but your team has to trade like 2 full ults to swap one person's hero.
Oh my!
Just for rank, just
for
like
so complicated, dude. That's like
no,
crazy
it's not complicated. I want you guys. I want the defense to know what the offense is running, and I want the hero swapping to be like situational and worth something, and like based on some sort of economy. And I want ults to be less active, like less prevalent in every single team fight. And I want teams to be like, should I use this res or should I sacrifice it so my Mercy can play, or my McCree can play Pharah against their Junkrat? Like,
yeah, I mean that would be nice.
I want talking points.
I know, but that's something that I don't think they're. We can't even mix and match ults right now, or even just like disable ults and that sort of thing right now. So that's definitely pie in the sky type of stuff. But it would be cool. It definitely would be cool.
To be fair, they also said that hero stacking was a core mechanic of the game, and now we know how that is.
Right.
I want hero switching to be a core mechanic of the game, but I want it to be like more obvious. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But they've also said hero switching is like a really big core mechanic, but like I want the game to revolve around it more. I think that if you're not going to do some weird locking in like Dota, then you should like make hero switching be like a very, very interesting mechanic. Like the HUD doesn't even tell you when someone switches heroes, and I think that that's like a huge problem. I'm sure Blizzard's watching this video. That's why I'm going off on these tangents.
Yeah.
We have a new developer update, by the way, introducing the server browser.
Well,
Griffin's saying we should watch it live.
We should.
Hey, Chris. Just saying. After the show, maybe we should just play the video on stream because Griffin from Blizzard just said we should do it.
Okay, totally.
Wait, let's just give Griffin what he wants right now. Just play
it. Should we?
Dude, how long is it?
I don't know.
If you got time, Ben, it's usually you. Let me see.
It's 9 minutes.
We got 9 minutes.
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
Link me it to me real quick, so I don't have to find it right now.
I'll give it to you.
Do it live.
Do it live. We are doing it live. Here we go.
Griffin, play it. All right, fine, dude.
All right, here we go. All right, let's watch it together. We'll watch it on.
Welcome everybody to another developer update. I'm Jeff from the Overwatch team.
Oh.
He's got a new jacket. Oh my god, how do I get that jacket?
Because we're going to talk about a feature that we mentioned at BlizzCon and we're finally introducing to you guys. And that feature is the server browser. So to start, not everybody knows what a server browser is. A lot of you who played shooters back in the 90s and early 2000s know exactly what a server browser is. But it's a really cool feature where people can run custom versions of the game.
He lets us increase
and then
server
other
limit
people
to like
can
16,
find that game in a public list and then join it. So we are adding a server browser that's going to list all of the custom games running in your region. And what region means is if you have your region set to Americas or Asia or Europe, you will see all of the custom games that are set to public in that region. And there's all sorts of sorting and filtering options to help you find exactly what kind of game you're looking for. So if you know ahead of time that you want to play a certain mode only, or if you really want to find a certain map because that's what you want to play on right now, you can search the server browser for that particular map and get right to it. We have a really cool filter option that lets you filter directly for things like maps or heroes that are enabled and disabled. Or we've added a type-in
You can search for
box
analyst
where
games.
you can type in exactly what you're looking
Does that mean
for.
you still get no
might
XP
just
though
say
for searching for
payload
this stuff?
or escort or
It's gotta
you
be,
wanna
right?
find
I'll get there,
Ilios,
right?
and all of those things
I think
work.
so.
You can
and it
play.
will
You
show
can just search for
exactly
games where Roadhog
what
is banned
custom
and enjoy
games
yourself again.
match those
Oh, that sounds
particular
lovely.
options.
Or just King of the Hill.
So we think
Just
that's
King of
gonna
the Hill,
be
like,
a
all
really
day.
great way for players to find
Seen a shocking
different types of
report. There
games
have
that
been
they
zero
wouldn't normally
2CPU
find
lobbies in the past 3 months.
Now, you might be wondering, why do we add this feature? Like, what does this bring to Overwatch that doesn't already exist?
At least you can pug now.
We recognize that the majority of our players like to play the game.
I want to play like team damage on 5v5.
A lot of our
just like
players
see what the hell
engage
Overwatch
with
is
the
like.
arcade as well.
With like
and the
crazy different
modes that are running
rules.
in the
Junkrat
arcade.
trap your
But there's a
teammates
lot of
into
times
the
where
enemy
players
team.
want to try different things and play the games in different ways, and it's not really viable for us to put up a matchmaking system where we could feed everybody into everybody's different possible custom game. So for that reason,
You
we
can put
need
bots
to
on
give
the enemy
you
team
a
too.
way
You
to
can make a
look at the
custom
different
game now
custom
with
games
bots.
that are out there and decide for yourself,
I
you know,
think
do
you
I
did that
want to
before.
You always could, yeah.
partake in it or
Insane
not?
bots.
Now, speaking of custom game, you guys have seen this feature before, but we're doing huge updates to custom game and bringing tons of new functionality to the feature. Right off the bat, one of the most exciting things about the new custom game feature is you can now
gain experience. Oh my God, Jeff!
Well,
huge.
experience, but not SR. Right?
Yeah, but who
for
cares
but you
about
can get
SR?
loot
You can
boxes.
get loot
want to
boxes.
scrim with your
Dude, that's
friends
awesome.
in purely competitive mode. You're
Dude,
now
all the
gaining
pro
EXP
players are going
and
to be
earning
like
loot
fucking
boxes
gold borders soon
through
now.
the custom game feature, which should be really cool for you.
True.
The other thing that we're
yeah.
adding, really big
No
announcement.
more Enigma level 5.
Year of the Rooster
Enigma.
event was fantastic. People have responded so positively to Capture the Rooster that
Except
we are
for these
adding
guys.
CTF as a game mode that you will be able
shit,
to
we can play
enable
custom CTF now.
in
Yeah, but we need
custom
maps,
game.
man. We need maps.
And we are adding
Yeah, I mean, all the-
9
additional maps.
in addition to the 3 Capture the Rooster
AKA
maps.
King
We're
of the Hill
gonna add
Ilios or
9
CTF
additional
Ilios,
maps
CTF
that
Li
are
Zhang, and CTF
conversions
whatever.
Yeah.
from our other control maps.
Yeah,
so
see.
they're all there for
CTF
you
Nepal.
to play around on.
There you go.
We've
That's
been
9.
having a ton of fun. playing
that,
with
that was
But
obvious.
beyond that, what custom game has
There
added
are your
is
maps,
tons
sucker.
of new options for you to play around with. So I'll use Capture the Flag as an example. We've been reading a lot of the
I'll trade
feedback, listening to a lot of the
Russell
feedback
Jeff
on
t-shirt.
It's still
for that
good. It's still,
jacket.
I mean,
Heard
I'm
things like,
I'm still
well,
down for that.
you should require my team to have the flag if we're going to capture the enemy's flag. We now enable this as an option. You can set
So
it
they're
if you
gonna
think that the game
enable
mode should work that
flag
way,
must be at
or
base.
people have
Ilios
vastly
Ruins
differing
would actually be
All right,
pretty
this
fun.
game just
whether or
got
not
infinitely more
the flag should
enjoyable
have
to
a
play.
pickup time.
'Cause
Some
now we
say
can
it
make
should be
pugs
longer,
really
some
good.
say
Oh my
it
God,
should
now
be
it's actually
shorter.
CTF.
It's up to you now. You can set it to whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be instant,
All these
that's
options
awesome.
and
If you want to
toggleable
set it
things.
to longer than we have it, you can do that.
Let's
as
do something
well.
fun, Ben.
We've
Let's do something
also
fun soon.
Added
Yeah, we've been talking about it
drop-down
long enough.
that lets you select whether or not hero abilities work. So maybe all heroes' abilities work like they do currently in the mode by default, or if you
does that mean?
prefer, you can make it so no hero abilities work in the mode. Or even different, another option that
we can turn off spells.
Yes, you can turn off. So you can turn off abilities in ultimates.
Mobility.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
You get an option.
This is so good. That's so good.
Everybody gets an
You can change the reflag return time.
I haven't smiled this wide since my floor was
how many
done.
flags are required.
Holy crap! This is awesome,
just apply
dude.
To CTF. You can
We
go
can
into
play
the payload maps
Hollywood
and change the payload speed.
no
if you think it
Roadhog
should be
hook.
faster or slower.
So basically,
You can change
instead
the
of having
capture speed on control points
people
if you want.
like make
In the
static
control mode,
mods,
you
can
can
make a
and
mod
decide
as
what
you
rate does,
start these
capture
games and lobbies.
percentage
Basically,
accrue at.
I mean, it's basically
Yeah,
a
but
mod every time you do that.
They need to add the ability so you can like
decide
save
what
settings then,
heroes you
because it's
want
going to be
in the
really
map.
hard.
Yeah,
to
like a
follow.
template. That's true.
You know,
Redo
Tracer's
this
a
every time.
problem in escort maps. You can turn her off if you
Just
want.
make the payload super
There's
fast.
so many
Yeah, get
options
Tracer off
available
payload
to
maps. Get her out of here.
Dude, oh my God,
even
this
more
we could
so
do a
than
whole
just
episode
turning a
just on
simple
this.
hero off.
This is
You
ridiculously
can now
good.
go into each individual
God.
hero abilities and turn
Futures
them
now.
on or
I mean,
off
everybody
and adjust
who's
their
like an
cooldowns
old school
if you
FPS
want.
gamer
So
knows
one
that
of the things that's
in all
really
these old
fun
games
that
there's
we've been
always
having
like
a blast with
24/7 X
is
map
setting
servers for like
Widowmaker's,
everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Is this gonna
grapple
allow
hook
you to like
as low as
create
it can possibly
servers
go. So
that
you can pretty
last
much
forever, or is
Spider-Man
this
No,
something
it's
that
a
you
custom
just
game.
No,
No, it's a
no.
custom
It's just a
game.
custom game,
Yeah.
right?
Once
So
you get a bunch
definitely
of
not the
Widowmakers
same,
doing this, it's
but
really fun.
you could see
The
like a certain.
creativity
If you do a
is
template, if you
Right.
can save a
Playing,
template though,
If
then
Jeff
you
would
can
give
just
me a
keep going.
permanent like
options where you can
8v8 or
set things on a
10v10
per
instant
team
respawn
basis.
Hollywood server,
So
that'd be
let me
dope.
give you a quick example
Dude,
of
just do
something you might
ARAM.
want to try there.
Yeah.
Get ARAM in
Set it
Overwatch.
so
ARAM, isn't that
a
like
custom game that
Ilias
you put up
Ruins?
and is
ARAM
available
pretty
to the
much.
public has one
Pretty
team
much.
with a single Roadhog with triple his normal health against a
can do
team of
tank
6
busts
Oh, you can even
Roadhog.
you can
at
even
lower
change
health.
the health.
You can play
Like
Titanfall with
Frostbite or something
Roadhogs
like
as
that.
the Titans.
Wherever your creativity takes you,
You can
we're
just give
trying to
Roadhog an
you
extra
as many
500%
options as
HP, and each
possible
team gets
to
one
play
Roadhog, and you have
around
to kill
and
it.
come up with fun
You just
different
clash
ways
in the
to
middle
play.
like some
Whoa.
Godzilla
Dude,
battle.
we need a brainstorm,
Every
man.
setting
Oh my
that you
God,
could
there's like a
wildly
million
imagine
things
is
we can do.
probably not there
All
in the
right,
first
streaming
version.
just got fun again.
Already,
This
as
is-
we're
Making
putting
events
this
just got
feature
super
onto
fun,
the public
right?
test
So-
realm, we already have some ideas of
Why is it PTR? Just
other
put it live.
features that we'd
Whatever,
like to
man.
add and other options we'd like to add. So what's exciting to us is as this feature is out there, knowing that this is a base or a foundation that we can grow further customization and further new fun options and new fun ways to play Overwatch.
24/7 on a
looking not
Mura,
only at your
second point
requests
only.
for like what options you think would be fun,
That's a
what you want to
kiss.
see added to custom game and to the server
I
browser.
want to play
But
Godzilla.
also,
I want like 500
all
H,
the different
500%
things that
HP
you're
Reinhardt,
doing,
500%
we want to
HP Hog,
watch
and just like
and
battle in
see,
the middle.
you know, wow, everybody's running capture
Make
the
them
They
flag
could actually change
with
the model
these certain
size.
Yeah, that'd be
settings,
sick.
and
Like
it
a
seems to
1,000
be
times
even
the
more
size of this model.
popular than our version of the
That's
capture the
awesome.
Okay,
flag.
that might be
We're
going a
gonna be
little
paying
too
attention
far,
to that
changing the
and
model
looking
size.
to adjust what we're doing
That might be too
based
much
on what's popular
customization.
with you guys. So it's going to be a really fun feature. I think it's a really great start to a great feature that's going to grow over time. We
And before there's
really
like
look
5
forward to
people
hearing
queuing
what you
ranked
guys
over
have
again.
to say about it, and we'll be right there on
Everyone's
the
just
PTR
playing
with you,
custom
testing
games.
it, and we'll be there playing the game with you guys when it goes
Twitch
live.
chat.
We hope you enjoy it as much as we do, and we look forward to what you have to say.
Oh my
Take
God.
care.
Holy crap!
Take care.
That was that's
Nice.
that's probably the best
You
update.
should have just dropped the mic, man.
ever.
You should've just picked it up and just dropped on the floor.
Holy crap. Okay, so just real quick thoughts. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to finish all our topics today, but real quick thoughts on that. That crazy news. I mean, I think that's. I don't think any of us here that hasn't been one of our wish lists, like when it comes to Overwatch. And I think they've gone beyond what our wish list is, at least for like phase 1. You know, I was thinking iteratively. This is like 4-5 iterations past what I thought they would do for something like a server browser. Jason, you haven't said much. What do you think about all this?
Cool. I don't know. Like,
Oh my God.
I like. It's not
Go on.
something that really appeals to me. Like to play custom games and to do all these weird little freaky things because I never really played the arcade mode with like the brawls. I mean, it's cool you can customize all this stuff. Maybe they'll have like a better competitive mode come out through it, which I think is kind of what they're hoping to do. I don't know.
This is actually insane, But
I don't really, not super excited, but I'm not excited.
I feel like it gives you like the ability to be a developer.
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly what it is.
I'm literally opening this thing. It's like settings, heroes, Reaper, Wraith form, on or off, Shadow Step, on or off. Like I can literally just turn stuff off and change the multiplier of like how long it takes and what their HP is. Like,
can you change damage? Can you change damage?
Yeah, you can change healing received, movement speed. You can change projectile speed.
Nuts.
You
but
can
damage per
headshots,
anything like that?
Yeah, damage dealt, health.
Oh my god!
I can literally just make my own game in this.
Yeah. So Jason, what's kind of cool about this too is that, I mean, you could potentially create a better what we see right now with competitive Overwatch. We can play around a little bit and see if we can come up with even just better version of it. And, hopefully they would adopt it if it was, like if they saw that it was being received more. So I feel like, yeah, they're basically just throwing it out there to the masses to come up with some, cool stuff to do. And maybe, they'll eventually just add it as permanent things in the game. That's kind of how I'm seeing it.
I'm not excited about it, but I'm not just like under the table, to it.
All right.
Yeah, because why would you hide it?
Why would you? All right, Ben, what do you think about all this?
I'm somewhere in the middle. I think this is really cool. I think it's going to allow us to test a lot of things. You're right, Chris. Potentially the biggest upside here is that we are going to be able to put our little developer hats on and be like, okay, what happens if we adjust Ana or remove Hook or whatever, all these things we joke about, but we're going to be able to actually test these now. I think customization's going to be really cool for a lot of the community. A lot of people are going to find themselves playing specific game modes, specific servers, specific maps more than anything else. And that's going to be really cool for them. At the same time, I see where Jason's coming from. Like, I'm going to be playing ranked. Like, I just know myself. I'll try some things, but for the vast majority of cases, like, I'm just going to probably be sticking to ranked unless someone creates the perfect rule set that's just so fun and so balanced and so exciting that like everybody in the competitive community jumps on it, which even if that happens, like we'd still need to follow Blizzard's lead to actually do that for tournaments and things. But yeah, I mean, I think this is really, really cool for the casual community. I think this is really cool for us theory crafting and testing and trying out new things. And maybe some of those will make it into the game, which is like a huge upside potentially here. But other than that, I'm with Jason. I'm going to be playing ranked. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kiki.
Of course.
Sorry.
No. Of course, ranked isn't going to change. I mean, of course, all the competitive players. Yeah, we're going to play ranked. But as a event organizer or a community event organizer, holy crap, this is like. I'm so psyched about this.
I might never play ranked again.
So psyched about this stuff. Yeah, this is ridiculous.
All right, Flame, here's my only thing is I wish that there was a way that I could like if I could like save my settings to like a file and then like upload them again.
Yeah, like a template or of some sort. Yeah.
What?
Map balance changes. Ancient A second gate no longer closes after the payload pauses through the castle doors. Instead, rubble from the damaged doorway partially blocks the entrance. No more giant choke point or tiny choke point. And I should really the first point still needs to be changed.
What about the first point though?
Yeah, the first point's the bigger problem.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
You just pick Farah and you win.
Hold on, guys. We have patch notes.
Oh shit! There's so much content today.
Just forget the rest of the show. Just forget what the agenda was for the show.
Like I was at my lowest low yesterday, and I'm at my highest high.
Oh my god.
So looks like they talked about the diva change, where
let me see.
Basically, you're going to be able to stop. The enemy Roadhog hooks a teammate. You're going to be able to actually absorb those bullets. The split like centimeter it comes out of his gun. So that's like a pretty
bringing it up.
Pretty decent buff for diva.
It's actually a really big buff, yeah.
Yeah, especially against Roadhog. May cryo freeze. May can now be targeted by allies. So like you could put like a harmony orb or whatever on a cryo freeze. May, not very big deal. Let's see, Mercy. We got a couple things here for Mercy. Whoa.
Wait, how are you gonna call that not a big deal? You can like pre-bubble your May now out of.
Yeah, it's good. It's decent. It's good.
It's good. It is good.
It's not like the biggest deal in the world, but let's check out these Mercy changes. Performing Resurrection.
You can turn if your Ana nukes your May, you can remove that heal debuff while she's in the when she's in the ice block. That's huge.
Good point. That's a good point. But this is even bigger. Resurrect while performing Resurrection, Mercy now becomes temporarily invulnerable along with all the allies. So that's
wow.
That's decent.
I suggested that 2 months ago. Where's my boys?
Stats. Zenyatta can no longer be targeted when Transcendence is active. Okay, that's minor. Guardian Angel sensitivity. You can change sensitivity for like auto targeting. Okay.
And for Ana as well, so you don't target Lucio's all the time.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And you can't get high noon out of trans anymore. There's a lot of like you're treating these things as very small. They're very big.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Right, that's Mercy.
Torbjorn.
Right, Torbjorn. Here we go. Okay.
Okay, you can. I guess you can animation cancel with Rivet Gun now or something. I don't know. This change.
No, it's because it used to screw up. Like if you were in ult and you tried to drop, like something would happen. There was a problem where you couldn't reload if you dropped armor, and I think that this is just to fix it. I hope that this is to fix it.
Okay. Let's see. Widowmaker has something here.
Sensitivity also.
Sensitivity, just like more.
Every character has sensitivity options for things that like auto attach to.
That's huge, man.
Characters.
Like the widow thing.
We're gonna see less boostios, I guess. Is the idea here.
Yeah. What's wrong with boostios, man? Those are so good. Let's see.
Icon vault change is awesome. I'm for that.
Rubble in the door, that's good. Any other? That's the only map change here. Okay, that's good.
Really nothing big. Like bug fixes, nothing big at all.
Still,
really.
those are pretty cool.
I mean, okay, to go back to the custom server stuff, like I think it's really cool that you can change all these settings, but I don't see like pros taking the time to tweak all these settings to find a new way to scrim when you have all these tournaments running the standard competitive mode. And like that's never gonna you're not gonna see an organizer change the game mode completely. Like say, oh no, healing's reduced 50% in our tournament. Because I mean maybe the smaller cups, but you're never gonna see a 100K tournament with those settings enacted.
If someone gives me 100K, I will run a tournament with
but like I don't see Blizzard allowing an organizer to do that because they want to keep the game as close as they possibly can to the current competitive rule set.
It might not be 100,000.
It's cool in theory, but I don't see like. I mean, eventually there'll probably be like settings change around to the point where people are like, yeah, this is awesome. Like, I love the way it's being played here. But like Ben said, I'm going to still be playing ranked. I still want to grind points for golden guns. I still want to grind on the ladder. Like, the fun little game modes are cool. Like doing that, Roadhog as a raid boss kind of thing. But to like make the competitive rule set more proper to the way maybe we would like to see it is still going to be something that's like far-fetched to actually have happen.
I mean, that was an extreme.
And that's competitive stuff.
Okay, so that was an extreme example. I was just throwing out there as just, a thinking point, when we were talking about ranked. Of course, ranked is the main storyline. That will always be the main storyline. Overwatch League will come out. It's always going to be the main way to play competitive Overwatch. But the whole point of it is like it's about like the breadth and just filling the community, just the Overwatch community in itself. There are lulls that we always go through in terms of just the competitiveness. I mean, we're going through a lull right now, like in terms of competitive Overwatch. And this is times where, it's filled by fun things in the community, some different things in the community, just for a very full and diversified community. And this is the type of thing that allows for, true community type of events, whether it includes the pros, the pros want to play in, things we talked about before, like 3v3 tournaments and 1v1s. I mean, this is well beyond that. Whether they want to play in those type of things, we can get some like, cool, very, high viewed events going, or whether it's just like for, I don't know, even like flames like Discord, whatever, just you can actually do some cool stuff now for the community. And it's completely facilitated by this. And
also the downside of it is that you're joining custom games with people of random skill level that you have no idea.
Yeah, and that's up to the organizer to figure all that out. That's not up to the game. Yeah, it's up to.
We're gonna have the Flame Invitational next week.
That's right, exactly.
And it's gonna be all the top European teams with no tournaments. They're gonna be like, let's try Flame's crazy rule set. And maybe they'll love it, and then Blizzard will be like, wow, this is cool. I enjoyed watching that. We can cast it. We'll get more content out there. Jason, I'm trying to be positive here.
Anyway,
I'm actually excited because there's like so much shit you could do now that's like you couldn't do last week. Like I can literally balance something myself and see if it's good and not have to like think about it.
Right.
We probably vastly overestimate what percentage of the community actually is super competitive too. I think, we got some Blizzard people in chat right now. I'm sure they have the stats in the back end. Probably the number of people that play quick play and or maybe are low ranked or whatever, or maybe even play against bots. Like, it's probably way bigger than we think, and those people are going to benefit greatly from this. Also, yeah, I'm looking forward to the Flame Invitational. That sounds awesome.
That sounds definitely great. Okay, well, that was unexpected, but very, very great surprise in terms of just our segments today. So we're going to have to fly through some of these that we actually have planned. But before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to all the folks that are listening on iTunes, as well as the other audio channels that we are available on. But specifically, I want to give a shout out to a couple folks that left us 5-star reviews and some great comments. CyberChimp224, Monkey King J, thank you so much. And if you'd like to help out the show, and you do listen to it on iTunes, or you're on iTunes, go ahead and look for the overview by searching for Overwatch Podcasts, or just type in the overview and leave us a 5-star review if you like it, and that would be awesome. It helps folks find the overview when they're trying to find Overwatch Podcasts. Okay, so esports news. So we got a few team news that maybe we can talk about a bit. 2easy announced that he's forming a new team that's called Team Bench Boys. And it's got a couple players in there that we might recognize in Crew and Kib, and let's see, who else was it? It was also
Howl and Gray.
Howl and Gray, and it looks like a main tank is going to be announced soon too. So yeah, good to see 2easy getting something. What?
Spill it.
What? Spill it.
I don't know. Maybe I've been talking to 2easy. Maybe I've been like, hey, I heard you guys need a Reinhardt player. I can play Reinhardt.
Gosh. Oh man.
I mean, I'm better than Winghaven probably.
Whoa!
You shit on Winghaven every episode. What is this?
Gosh!
What is this?
Slowly becoming my thing.
Skipjack is still available right now. I think if I had to guess, and this is just me guessing, I would say that NRG is trying to find a main tank, and whichever one doesn't go to NRG will go to 2easy.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
Because NRG's got money. 2easy doesn't really have money. He's got a bench.
So okay, I'm gonna talk about like a topic that should be brought up though about the roster. Is that Kib? Nice guy, but he left Reunited for like no reason because he overestimated the commitment it took to be a pro player, even though they were doing really well with it.
Oh, that's true.
Is he committed now in a way that to help push his team go far, or is he gonna burn out again after a certain period of time? And then Crew as well. Like Crew sits on teams fairly well for the most part, and then all of a sudden there's like this explosion point where he kind of just doesn't play anymore with them.
How many teams has Crew?
How stable is this going to be?
Crew, he's 3? Is it 3?
At least.
Melty, Flat Earth, Graviton Surge, which became Misfits, Luminosity, now Benchbot.
Okay.
Yeah. So the issue, I mean, I don't want to flame 2easy because I actually love 2easy. He's like my favorite person in the scene, but like, he has like this gift, like this God-given gift to take people who should never be together and make them like be together. Like if you look at FaZe in the vacuum, that team would have never came together if he didn't do it. Like there's absolutely no way Zom, Shadowburn, and Forsaken could be on one team.
Yeah, but he makes it work. So
exactly, that's what I'm saying. So like I have a lot of faith in him. Like I have no doubts in Kib and Crew on a team with 2easy because 2easy will find a way to unite them in some weird friendship bond of maybe hating Anna or something. I don't know.
The thing about Kib and maybe with Crew too, maybe they just like more of a just an organic type of team that's not trying to commercialize or anything like that. Trying to make it into a team that could either get picked up by a sponsor or is in some type of position to maybe get into the Overwatch League right off the bat. So I'm curious. I'm definitely curious to see what happens with this.
I don't care how bad they start off. They're going to be good.
I'm more curious about Howl and Gray. Like how he played for Italy in the World Cup or the Overwatch World Cup. Gray.
Oh yeah.
No idea. No idea who Gray is, to be honest. Maybe it's just some guy they matched with and played with on ranked. Isn't that who are you is who plays for Lunatic Kai now? They just saw him on ranked and hey, we'll try you out.
That was Kib's
Kib
origin.
Well.
That's how I want to say Gray is like whichever one the Anna player has like 3 top 20 accounts as like Anna only or something.
Good lord.
Top 50 or something. Like I talked to him about it, but I heard I think they're gonna be good.
All right. Well, next bit of news. So we saw Kungarna, what is that, 2 weeks ago now, or maybe a week and a half ago, finished second place at NG, and they had been picked up by Ghost leading into the finals there. But now we're hearing that they've split from Ghost from their Twitter channel here, which I'll show. And That's pretty odd, given that they've only been with them for about a week and a half or so. Sounds like a bigger announcement will be coming soon. Jason, you've got a possible guess as to what maybe it might be?
I mean, I'm just saying, when Hype was on the show last week, I mentioned TSM, and he got flustered. And then I saw a Reddit post already from someone saying that they're confirmed to go to TSM. So
half of them,
right? Because
the
3 of them left.
The team split, and they let go.
Yeah, the team split, and they're going to be leaving.
But then the other half, I don't know if I'm at liberty to spill.
So the other half is going obviously somewhere else together, I guess. Don't spill it if you're not supposed to spill it.
It should be obvious. It should be obvious based on like the teams that people have been leaving this week.
Energy.
No,
not energy. It's like every rumor is energy like centric every single week. Okay, so Kungarna to TSM would be pretty. It'd be great to see TSM finally nab up a team. I mean, I feel like they've been looking forever now. And
wasn't TSM the team that just played in like the Haste tournament?
Did they? Did they have a team?
No.
I totally missed that. They have a team.
What was the Dream Casper Spo?
Are you talking about Tempo Storm? Or are you talking about?
Is that Tempo Storm? Yeah.
I think you're talking about Tempo Storm, which is another team.
I always get those two. Yeah, you're right.
You get them mixed up, really?
Yeah, because it's TS and TS, and like I'm not really a big LoL guy, so I don't know them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, we'll have to see where Kungarna ends up.
Mineral's got a good point. Splice left with 3 players. Kungarna has 3 players.
Splice split up too.
Splice split up too. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Flames is trying to keep a straight face right now. Look at him. I see a little smile.
Who?
God, oh, come on.
Okay, so maybe
Splice has issues.
We'll have to see if some of these teams come together. We have another, I guess, announcement, which Team Dignitas, which ended up playing in the Strivewire Brawl too. They made an announcement too about their team. It's more of an update. It's more of an update, right, than it is a brand new announcement.
Well, their roster's been shifting around, but now if you look at this Dignitas roster, Linkser is the only person that was on the original roster left. They have been swapping people consistently over time. And I actually enjoyed watching this team play. I think Toxican...
Bromos has been...
Bromos?
Wait, Bromos? I thought Bromos is no longer the team.
No,
he's still
the very first one.
Bromos, they're no longer my favorite European team.
My bad, too. 2 of them are still consistent. But just as a random side note from watching them play last week, is Toxican, I think, is an incredibly underrated player. Like, this guy is a sick hit scan player. So looking forward to seeing how this team does now that they're reorganized again for like the 5th time.
The reorganization.
The reorganization. Yeah. It'd definitely be good to see some more. And again, it's good to have some more of these smaller tournaments too that they get a chance to.
I can't wait to see them prove themselves in the upcoming ESL tournament. I mean, what?
When's that?
What?
When is that?
I see some sexy quotes though in this article from some people who I really well respect across the Overwatch community. I see one after seeing Linkster on Widowmaker in mid 2016. He to me is still one of the strongest DPS players in Europe. Jason Kaplan. See, that sounds like a smart guy.
Oh my gosh. How much did he pay you to do that, dude? Seriously.
None actually.
All right.
My honor to talk about that.
He is awesome.
Plating his ego, so he's good.
He is.
Can you bring me to this upcoming ESL tournament? Me and Ben are trying to find work, I'm just gonna go straight to the hard-hitting question.
Okay, well, let's move on to some events because really quickly here, we've got Apex, which has just been ongoing with a lot of different matchups. I mean, real quick update: Lunatic High over LW Blue 3-1, MVP Infinity over Meta Athena over MVP Infinity 3-2, which is a really close series. And the Combat Box, Kungdu Uncia over Conbox 3-0, which happened, I think it was this morning, and that was like pretty good stomping there. But in general, you guys catch these matches? I know Flame, you've been watching them, but Ben, Jason, do you guys catch any of these matches? And
not a ton. I got to watch a little bit here and there, but
I got to see the Kongdu Panthera versus Runaways game today.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty interesting. A big throw out of Runaways on Nepal, but Panthera won the series. Like, is pretty expected.
Yeah. So far, I don't feel like there's been like a ton of upsets in Apex quite yet.
The groups are very imbalanced. I think it's like hard to. I mean, I don't want to say that, but like MVP Infinity was like one sound barrier away from 3-0ing Envies, and then they lose 3-2, and then they lose to Meta Athena, and Meta Athena like is pretty good, but MVP Infinity is so good. It's just like Meta Athena is also really good, but then you have the group with Panthera, Fnatic, and Combox, and like. Or not Combox. Runaway. It's Panthera, Fnatic, and Runaway in one group.
Yeah.
And like I think MVP Infinity could maybe like beat Fnatic or beat
they're not
they beat Panthera, but maybe they could beat Fnatic, and like the C9 group seems really weak, but I love the matches over there. Like Unseen and Panthera right now are just like shocker teams because they weren't supposed to be this good, but they're like actually very good.
Well, Panthera is something that a lot of the pros have been saying, or, you know, a lot of the pros that have been in Korea have been saying they're good. They're super good in practice.
They play very consistent and like intelligent Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Like they swap heroes immediately. They don't hesitate on their like compositions. They execute very well. Like they have plans. I'm a fan of the Panthera train right now, but we're not going to see much of them, I guess, left because there's no good matches for them until I guess like playoff bracket.
I see. Okay. Anything worth mentioning just with the meta you've been seeing? I mean, I did see some funny, like the MVP, the Infinity and Meta Athena match. I think was pretty entertaining to watch. But there was one particular part in Route 66 that was hilarious, where they were all lined up in the train, the actual train cart in the you know, on defense or whatever. And they were just lined up, and then the Hanzo just immediately detected all of them right when the doors opened. And then so the Reinhardt ran around and it charged right up the cart and just like surprisingly didn't just destroy them.
They still lost that fight, which was
they
funny.
still lost that fight
because it was their Lucio that switched to Hanzo, so they just didn't have a Lucio.
Oh, that's what it was.
So
okay,
it's like
that was a funny moment though. Yeah. But it's good to see that people trying different stuff. You know, like that's the one thing I'll say about some of the matches I watched. But anything that was very noticeable in terms of meta-wise and seems to be working right now?
I think you can go.
Ben?
Oh, are you asking across all the tournaments this last
week? No,
just
Apex. Just Apex in particular. See what we're seeing.
I'll let Flame take that one then.
Yeah.
I think teams are starting to play to their strengths more than like trying to force a meta.
Okay.
Like Lunatic High has been winning with this one trick, Who Are You Genji? And I mean, he's really good and it's working.
Super good, yeah.
And like that's impressive to me. I think like, who did they play? MVP? No, it wasn't MVP. It was.
Am I Combox or?
Oh my God, who did Lunatic High just beat?
Oh, Lunatic High. You're talking about LW Blue, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So LW Blue like having a little bit of trouble, but they're not. They like tried to force a diva, it didn't work. Like that match was actually really good. I like recommend anyone watch that match, either like watch it or watch my review of it. But I don't think that there's been like a really defined meta. Like Lunatic High's running dive comp on offense like every single map almost because Miro's Reinhardt isn't super impressive, so he's just like, I'm just not gonna play Reinhardt then. And like that's interesting in itself. I don't think that people were saying like, oh, everyone's running dive, but
yeah, exactly.
It's definitely teams just playing to their strengths and like doing different things that I think is.
Well, it's
very
also like something Siegel was talking about on a stream. I remember listening. He's talking about how whenever a patch comes out, there's like a couple week period where people are just trying to figure out like what's the strongest combos to play at the current time, like with the current patch. And then like a couple weeks from now, you'll see like a very standard kind of meta rise again. Like there was triple quad tank.
Yeah.
And people, like you said, like people are just playing what they can play well so they can get victories. But like, I think in a couple weeks we'll have like more of a standard meta yet again.
Yeah, I mean, I got flamed on Reddit for like saying that Lunatic High's Genji Mercy composition was bad, but like they were clearly just like testing something. And then like I think some other teams yesterday in the other match were running like defensive Sombra Lucio instead of like Sombra Ana on 2CP. And then like the Reinhardts are just getting slammed because the Lucio can't keep them alive. But yeah, they're definitely still testing, and there's definitely a lot of experimentation going on as far as like how to beat dive comp.
Right.
Like, it's good. It's interesting to watch.
Okay, on top of Apex, we actually had Assembly Winter 2017, which Jason had the pleasure of casting. So why don't you give us a rundown of assembly real quick.
Just gonna start off saying, if people ever question if there's any interest in European tournaments, well, they have no right to question that anymore. We had 16.8 thousand viewer peak on this final day for a tournament with only like really one well-known top-tier European team, and that was NIP, who actually were able to pick up their first line victory. Credit to them. It was a little bit questionable actually in the finals, but luckily for me, Hexagrams and ZP stepped in the cast because Uber had tonsillitis.
Oh wow!
But
okay.
Mostly out of this tournament, what was really nice was the fact that we got to see players we typically don't get to see in these like bigger tournaments. For instance, Bido, who was playing for Ents, Ents. He had a fantastic fair. He actually was playing a very, very aggressive fair in a lot of these situations and able to challenge out against the likes of soldiers who are, competent enough to deal with the fair. And then also show he can flex like multiple different heroes. He played a lot of soldier, he played some tracer, he played some roadhog. Him and Desperado were interchanging like a couple different heroes. And then on the side of Helsinki Reds, we had Wumera, who played a lot of roadhog in the beginning. But this was a team who had prepared something specific for NIP when they got to the finals. And they had him on Tracer. And he was doing some insane work with Tracer. He got multiple multi-kills with pulse bombs. He was insanely hard to kill. So all in all, out of a 4-team tournament with only a 5K prize pool, we had insane viewership, and a lot of people out there got to see like some people you normally would never get to notice. Like I always use this reference, but Mickey, if the Overwatch World Cup didn't happen, if Thailand didn't get a team there, he would never have been seen. He never would have joined Envious.
Right.
Well, now these two guys get a chance to like maybe show what they've got and kind of appeal to some teams who are maybe looking for some other players.
Yeah, Wumero was definitely a chat favorite. That guy was going pretty nuts. And man, they brought NIP to the very verge.
Yeah, they did.
People were thinking like, this is in the bag for NIP. This is going to be easy peasy. But for a second there, I thought they were going to lose. So did you, Jason, it sounded like.
Yeah. I mean, considering NIP already played them the day before in the winners finals where they 3-0'd them, and then to get pushed the entire 5 maps against Helsinki Reds was really confusing. But I think it also showed that Helsinki Reds did their homework the night before, because they actually went 5 maps against NC Sports, and then like 5 maps on Ilias is the final map, and then they played against Ents later on the next day, and they 3-0'd them. So like I think that's a team that you have to be careful of. They're really quick to adapt and really quick to review where their mistakes have been made. And they also play for an organization who's like a really well-known ice hockey team in Finland, so they have a lot of pressure on them as well.
Oh,
I get so confused because I always see them on Twitter, that Helsinki Reds account. I'm like, who is this team? Who is this team? So I'm glad that like they're doing well and like they're showing that they can.
We need some more of these tournaments, man. Let's get some more EU teams, or at least unknown EU teams, to really get some exposure and really work their way.
Well, that's like almost CIS, right? What was like the base of that tournament?
The prize?
No, like the region.
Finland.
Oh,
Finland.
Yeah, Assembly winners Finland.
Close.
No. What was the other tournament? There was like a Tornado Rocks in a tournament this weekend. That was the other one, I guess.
That was the wait, what did they call it?
Strive
Wire. Yeah,
that's a go-to thing, right? Yeah.
We need to get more of them in, because I heard like the Russian stream was blowing up.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that was the other tournament going on.
We have to give a shout out to Nuki as well, who's trying to be really, or actually has been really prevalent in the Overwatch scene, more behind the scenes than in front of the scene, actually organizing that whole thing and putting the whole thing together to give all these European teams a chance to play again in front of their fans.
Need more people like him, man. Definitely more organizers. That's what we need, for sure. Okay, well, why don't we wrap up, guys? No questions today, unfortunately. We got unfortunately we gotta wrap it.
I got to go.
He's got to go. Yeah. So we'll save up any of the questions for next week. Well, I'll promise you we'll have time for it next week. I didn't anticipate all this like patch stuff and the server, just all the developers update and everything. But yeah, why don't we do a shout outs? Flame, you want to start us off? Where can people find you?
Find me on Discord. Find me on Twitch. Find me on Twitter. Find me right here.
Like, what are those things you can find on Discord and Twitter?
I think most people. Discord's /Flame. Yeah. Twitter's Matt Rod with a 0. Twitch /Flame.
Okay.
Whatever.
Cool. All right, we'll link those in there in just a second. Jason, want to do some shout outs?
Yeah, so same shout out I usually always give. Parents for helping me give me the opportunity to do what I did. ESL for helping me give this as well. HyperX actually a little different this week because they actually gave me some free stuff. The sweet headset, the Cloud 2
really
headphones.
Nice.
They're going full sell up with hexagrams. They gave me a hard drive. They gave me 32 gigs of RAM.
What?
They gave me a keyboard, two mouse pads.
Nice,
so big
man.
shout out to them and Ben for helping me out with that one.
Ben?
Not you.
Not you.
I'm like, I don't think I had anything to do with that actually, but
Fishstix. Shout outs.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week for another episode. I've been trying to stream more. I've actually been streaming at least once a week lately. If you want to watch somebody struggle in the high masters, low grandmasters range, please feel free to drop by. My Winston is insane. I will say that. My Winston is.
His Winston's insane. All right, Miro style or what?
Yeah, I try to take notes whenever I watch that guy play. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, and I'll round things out by thanking the three of you guys, of course, Flame, Jason, and Ben for doing the show with me, as well as everybody that's been watching, and Griffin for letting us or giving us the approval on showing the developers update on stream
that was
live.
Awesome.
That was actually really, really cool. But you guys can find the VOD for this show if you missed any of the beginning on youtube.com/ChanManV, as well as all the other VODs for the previous awesome episodes we've done in the past. You can also find the show on all the different audio channels, iTunes, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Pocket Casts, all of those things. Just look for the overview and you'll find it, and subscribe to those things so you can get our feed every single week. But thanks to all those folks that are listening, because we do have a good number of listeners. People don't actually understand that there's this whole other element of people who consume our podcasts that aren't on Twitch or on YouTube. So it's always great to have those folks too. And that's going to be it. Oh, you can follow me and on Twitter at ChanManV. We're planning another streamer showdown really, really soon. It's probably going to be in a couple weeks. It's going to be on a Friday. I'll have more on that soon, but for those who don't know Streamer Showdown, it's a game show that I've been trying to push out there this year, and Overwatch is definitely one of the places that we've been trying to have some fun with a lot of the top streamers. Like we've had like Stir and Harblue and Muselk and some of the other folks on in the past. So definitely check that out whenever you can. But that's going to be it for the overview this week. So for Flame, Jason, Fishstix, and myself, ChanManV, we'll see you next week. Later. We're still